You know what keeps me up at night? It's not the stock market. It's not even the national debt. It's watching hardworking Americans who've paid into Social Security their entire lives scrambling to figure out when their money is actually going to hit their account. And right now, there's something happening with Social Security deposits that's causing real confusion across this country. The Social Security Administration just rolled out changes to their payment schedule. That could mean your monthly benefit shows up in your bank account literally overnight while you're sleeping. But here's the catch. Not everyone's getting this treatment. There's a specific group of recipients who will wake up tomorrow morning with money already sitting in their account, and another group that's going to be waiting days, maybe even weeks longer. And the difference, it all comes down to when you filed, what type of benefit you're receiving, and your birth date. 3 factors. Most people don't even realize matter. I'm going to break down exactly who's getting paid first, why the SSA structured it this way, and what you need to do right now to make sure you're not caught off guard when your payment date changes. Let me tell you something that's been driving me absolutely crazy lately. I've been getting calls, emails, and messages from folks all across America who are genuinely worried about their Social Security payments. And you know what? They have every right to be concerned because the system we've got right now is more complicated than it needs to be. But I'm going to walk you through this step by step. And by the time we're done here, you're going to know exactly when your money is coming and why it's coming when it is. Now, let's talk about what's really happening with these overnight deposits. The Social Security Administration has been using an electronic payment system for years now. And when they say overnight deposits, what they're really talking about is the way direct deposit works in this country. Your Social Security payment gets processed through the Federal Reserve's banking system. And when that happens in the evening hours, your bank receives that money and posts it to your account. So when you wake up in the morning, boom, there it is. But here's where people get confused. And honestly, I don't blame them one bit. The SSA doesn't just dump everybody's payment into the system on the same day and call it good. No. They've got this whole schedule worked out based on your birthday. And it's been this way since the mid-90s. If you started receiving benefits before May of 1997, you're on a different schedule than someone who started receiving benefits after that date. And that right there is the first thing that trips people up. They're sitting there talking to their neighbor who gets paid on a completely different day. And they start thinking something's wrong with their account. Nothing's wrong. You're just on different schedules. So let's break this down the way it actually works in the real world. If you've been receiving Social Security benefits since before May 1997, your payment comes on the 3rd of every month. It doesn't matter when your birthday is. It doesn't matter if you're receiving retirement benefits or supplemental security income. 3rd of the month, every single month, like clockwork. And if the 3rd falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, they move it up to the last business day before that. So you're never sitting there on a Saturday wondering where your money is. It comes early. That's the group that has the simplest schedule. And honestly, they're the lucky ones because they don't have to keep track of all these different dates. But if you started receiving benefits after May of 1997, well, now we're playing a different game. Your payment date is tied directly to the day you were born. And this is where the overnight deposit timing really starts to matter. The SSA splits everyone up into 4 groups based on birth dates. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your payment comes on the 2nd Wednesday of every month. Born between the 11th and the 20th, 3rd Wednesday. Born between the 21st and the 31st, 4th Wednesday. And these payments process the night before, which means if your payment date is Wednesday the 14th, that money is moving through the banking system Tuesday night, and you're waking up Wednesday morning with it in your account. Now, here's what I want you to understand about this overnight processing, because this is where the rubber meets the road. The Social Security Administration sends out these payments in batches, and they do it in the evening because that's when the federal payment system processes large transactions. The Treasury Department moves billions of dollars every single night through something called the automated clearinghouse system. And your Social Security payment is part of that massive movement of money. When the SSA releases your payment, it goes to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve sends it to your bank, and your bank posts it to your account. All of this happens while you're sleeping, and by the time you check your account in the morning, it's there. But not all banks operate on the same timeline, and this is something that causes a lot of confusion and frankly a lot of unnecessary stress. Some banks will post that deposit at midnight, some wait until 2 in the morning, some don't post it until 6 or 7 in the morning. I've even heard of banks that don't show the deposit until 9 or 10 a.m., even though they received the money hours earlier. So, if you're sitting there at 5 in the morning, hitting refresh on your banking app and the money is not showing up yet, don't panic. Your bank is probably just running on a different posting schedule than your neighbor's bank. The money is coming. It's already in the system. You just can't see it yet. Let me tell you about another group that gets their payments on a completely different schedule. And these are folks receiving Supplemental Security Income, which is SSI. If you're on SSI, your payment comes on the first of every month. And just like with the third of the month crowd, if the first falls on a weekend or holiday, it gets moved up. SSI is a needs-based program, so it operates under different rules than regular Social Security, retirement, or disability benefits. And a lot of people don't realize that you can actually receive both SSI and Social Security at the same time, which means you could be getting 2 separate deposits on 2 separate dates every single month. I've talked to people who didn't understand this and thought they were being overpaid and they were sitting on money they were afraid to spend because they thought the government was going to come asking for it back. If you're getting both, you're supposed to be getting both. That's not a mistake. Now, let's talk about what happens when your payment date lands on a holiday, because this is another area where people get confused and start worrying. The federal government observes 11 holidays every year. And when your payment date falls on one of those holidays, Social Security moves your payment to the last business day before the holiday. So if your payment is supposed to come on Wednesday the 25th, and that's Christmas Day, you're getting paid on Tuesday the 24th. And that payment still processes overnight, which means Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Even though Wednesday is the holiday, your bank gets the money Tuesday evening, posts it overnight, and you wake up Wednesday with it in your account. Even though it's Christmas and the banks are closed, the system keeps working even when the banks aren't open for regular business. Here's something else that I think is really important for you to understand. When we talk about overnight deposits, we're talking about direct deposit only. If you're still getting a paper check in the mail, none of this applies to you. Your check gets mailed out about a week before your payment date, and it arrives when it arrives. The Postal Service does their best, but mail delivery times vary. And if you're in a rural area, or if there's bad weather, or if it's the holidays and the mail is backed up, your check could take longer to get to you. That's why the Social Security Administration has been pushing people toward direct deposit for years now. It's faster, it's safer, you can't lose it, nobody can steal it out of your mailbox, and you get your money on the exact day you're supposed to get it without having to wait for the mail carrier. And speaking of direct deposit, let's talk about how important it is to make sure your banking information is up to date with Social Security. If you've changed banks, if you've closed an account, if you've opened a new account because your old bank got bought out by another bank, you need to update that information immediately. I cannot stress this enough. If Social Security tries to send your payment to an account that's been closed, that payment bounces back, and now you've got a problem. It can take weeks to sort out. You've got to call Social Security, update your information, wait for them to reprocess the payment, and in the meantime, you're sitting there without the money you were counting on. Don't let that happen to you. Keep your information current. Let me also address something that I've been hearing a lot of questions about, and that's what happens if you don't see your payment when you expect it. First thing you do is check the Social Security payment schedule to make absolutely sure you know when your payment is supposed to arrive. Don't go by what your neighbor told you. Don't go by what you think you remember from last month. Go to the actual Social Security website and look at the official payment calendar. If your payment date hasn't arrived yet, you're worrying for nothing. If your payment date has passed and the money's not there, wait 1 business day. Sometimes there are processing delays. Sometimes banks are slower than usual. Give it 24 hours. If it's been more than 3 business days past your payment date and you still don't have your money, then you call Social Security, but don't call them the morning of your payment date at 8 a.m. because the money hasn't posted yet. That's not an emergency. That's just the way the system works. The thing that gets me about all of this is how much anxiety it causes people who are living on fixed incomes. These are folks who worked their whole lives, paid into the system, and now they're trying to make ends meet on $1,200, $1,400, maybe $1,800 a month. Every dollar matters. Every day matters. When that payment is late or when they think it's late, it causes real stress. And the truth is, the system works pretty well most of the time. Payments go out like clockwork. The overnight processing happens the way it's supposed to happen. Banks post the deposits. People get their money. But when you don't understand how the system works, when you don't know what to expect, that's when the worry creeps in. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to figure out exactly which payment schedule you're on. Go to the Social Security website right now. Look at the payment calendar. Find your birth date if you're on the post-1999 schedule, or confirm that you're getting paid on the 3rd. If you're on the old schedule, write it down. Put it on your calendar. Set a reminder on your phone. Know when your money is coming so you're not sitting there wondering and worrying every single month. And if you're still getting paper checks, for the love of everything, switch to direct deposit. Go online, call Social Security, walk into your local office if you have to, but get signed up for direct deposit. It will make your life so much easier. The bottom line is this: Social Security overnight deposits are real. They happen every single month, and they're designed to get your money to you as quickly and efficiently as possible. The system isn't perfect, but it works. You just need to understand how it works so you can plan accordingly. Your payment is coming. It's going to hit your account overnight. You're going to wake up in the morning, and it's going to be there. And now you know exactly when that morning is going to come.